Hello, I'm Rob and welcome to R&B Reviews, the channel where we try to give informative as well as introspective reviews of movies that are in the movie theaters as well as streaming, on DVD, Blu-ray, the whole shebang. Well, the summer blockbuster season is officially over. Here on R&B Reviews, the blockbuster season usually starts the first weekend of April and ends until the first weekend of September. Well, the period has ended and it's now time to do a list of the movies that I thought were the best, as well as a video that I thought about were the worst or disappointed me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this video where I'm going to pick 4 movies that I thought were the best of the summer blockbuster season, and then I'm going to do a separate video where I'll pick 2 movies that disappointed me, as well as 1 movie that I thought was the worst. Alright, so let's get busy with the best list, shall we? At number 4 on my list is The Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, some people said that this movie was a little bit disappointing to them, and I can kind of understand that. This sequel was not really as good or perhaps as fun as the first film, but Joss Whedon, who directed and wrote this film and the previous film, I thought did a good job of balancing fun dialogue with exciting action scenes. Now, Whedon did take some risk in order to avoid repeating the first film, which was more of a fun popcorn blockbuster. The tone here is much darker, a little more dramatic, and we do get character development with some other characters in the film like Hawkeye and Black Widow. While the film did feel a little bit crowded and some characters I felt got overlooked, I felt the filmmakers did a good job of stepping it up here. Number 3 on my list is Mad Max Fury Road. This is probably one of the few reboots that I can think of where the movie did not, or moviegoers didn't really complain about this movie, and definitely nobody's been complaining since the movie recently came out on DVD and Blu-ray either. I thought that Mad Max Fury Road was a great over-the-top fun spectacle. The special effects were terrific, and I read that director George Miller used practical effects as opposed to using a lot of CGI, and man, if that's true, what a difference it makes, especially with all the action that's on screen. It's very realistic, and as opposed to, computer-generated effects. The musical score really went well with the action that was on the screen, and the movie moved at this fast, crazy pace that kind of reflects the craziness of the characters as they struggle to find resources like water and fuel like gasoline. Sometimes the car chases did kind of wear me down over time, and my only other complaint with it was I wish that we had gotten to know the characters perhaps a little bit more. I mean, you do get moments with Mad Max as well as Charlize Theron's characters where you know just about enough to kind of root for them. But for example, after I went to watch the movie, I went online, and there's a website that kind of explains the backstory. Now, I don't know if it's canon, but the villain, Immortan Joe, and his son, something I noticed that in the movie they have masks or, breathing tubes, and the website said that it was because they are wealthy and powerful and they can afford, to breathe clean air, and apparently the air everywhere is, polluted and stuff like that. Well, if that's true, the movie didn't really convey that, and it would have been nice if they had gotten into more of the little details of that. Also, there were a lot of characters in this movie, and there was some that was, kind of hard to keep track of, but Mad Max Fury Road was a fun, over-the-top, crazy, apocalyptic film, and it's definitely, I think, definitely have a very strong cult following. Number 2 on my list is Inside Out. Now, this is not necessarily the best Pixar movie in comparisons to their earlier films, but I think it's much better than some of the later ones that the studio have been putting out. Inside Out goes back to having the film relate to us somehow, whether we've had to move as a kid or we've had personal problems as we were growing up. I thought the movie was very colorful and imaginative, and the emotions that live inside 11-year-old Riley, there's joy, sadness, disgust, anger and fear. They're all different, but they work very well together as a team, and I think the actors that were casted did a really good job at bringing out their personalities. I didn't find the movie to be predictable, and I was always wondering what would happen next. I thought it was a very smart, touching, relatable film for all ages. Now, the number 1 movie on my list, now there's going to be some people that are going to be like, Rob, this wasn't a summer blockbuster, but like I said, the blockbuster season normally starts like the first weekend of April, and that's when a lot of the big movies come out. This movie came out a week before Avengers Age of Ultron, and I was really impressed with this movie. This movie did not get a lot of publicity like the Avengers or Mad Max did. And I ended up going into this movie very cold, and in the end I found it to be very, very intriguing. It's Ex Machina. Domhnall Gleeson plays Caleb, who's a socially awkward employee, and Oscar Isaac plays Nathan, who's a very smart party animal type of boss, and Lisa Vikander, I think is how you pronounce her name. She plays an AI machine named Ava. Now, she did a really good job at playing a robot, and sometimes I forgot I was watching an actress. I mean, her movement and her tone really worked well in the role, and the movie had a beautiful photography look to it. The synthesizer score really complemented the picture very well, and I also enjoyed the film's commentary on technology. The dialogue was good. It sounded like real people were talking, and I felt like I was eavesdropping on their conversation, and the movie just flowed really well, and I didn't think the dialogue sounded forced at all. I thought it was a very well acted and intelligent film. Alright, so let me recap my best list for you of the 2015 summer blockbuster season. Number 4, Avengers Age of Ultron. Number 3, Mad Max Fury Road. Number 2, Inside Out. And number 1, Ex Machina. Alright, my next video will be my list of the disappointing and worst movies of the summer season. But anyway, with this movie, go ahead and post your comments. Did you think any of these movies should be on perhaps your best list? Is there a movie on there that you think I should have included? Go ahead and post your comments, and thank you very much for watching.